What's happening? In this video, I'm just going to talk about how I'm using the new Arbhar, just down here, the new Arbhar version 2 software or firmware. And I've got it on the stereo. I love the Arbhar all the time, but I was pretty much using it just for generative ambient stuff, really reverby, just continuous, like 25-minute long passes of randomness that sounded beautiful. Excuse me. But recently, since the new stereo input, you can actually record something properly stereo. So I was making a track a few days ago and just recorded in a little break from the track that I was making that adds some sort of instrumentation, no drums, just instrumentation and a few vocal parts. And tried to treat it like sort of a garage vocal chopper, which is really easy to do on the Arbhar. So basically, I've got the Arbhar set up and it's being triggered by Pam's Pro Workout. And I've only got two things really going on there. So I've got a gate going to the strike, I think it's called strike on the Arbhar, basically just hitting a grain. And that is on a randomly triggered, and it's got sort of like 60% probability of it triggering. And I've set that up as an 8-bar loop. So basically what you've got is it creates like a rhythm or a pattern that loops over eight beats, so 2 bars. And it just constantly plays that rhythm until you change the beat length again, and then it goes back to random, and then you can lock in a loop. I've just locked in an 8-bar loop from turning it on. And exactly the same with the sort of the spray. No, it's not called spray, it's scan, which is just basically going through the recording, so scanning through the recording. And I've got that set up on full probability, but just a random wave. So at different points, like a stepped wave, it's going to click to different parts of that recording, which is exactly like just going through different slice points of a sample. I've set it up so it's got a really, really short time, so it's only going to ping like a certain section of it with a downward envelope. So it's going to give me those really sharp pings, always going forward, so no reverse play. And yeah, that range is also looped, so it's always going to give me the same rhythm, and it's also going to change. Like the where it's going to hit is always going to kind of be the same distance from each other. It's going to keep the same 8-bar loop of randomness. The only thing I'm going to change, though, is the point of this, because normally a full range stepped amount is about sort of a third of the way through the whole recording, which at first I was a bit annoyed at because it meant that I couldn't use a random wave to go for the full length of the recording or like the full amount here going across. But now this isn't actually a problem, because what I can do is have I can split this into sections. So I could basically play a new area or like a new melody from the existing loop that I've got triggering the grain, and also where that's going to be placed in the scan. I'll play you this so you can hear what I'm talking about. This is what I did before, but I'm just going to do a rerun of it afterwards. So this is what it ended up sounding like. I'll solo the actual modular. Sweet, right? The drums is just coming from the MPC, which is just off camera. So I've just got a basic beat, like a 909 kit, and some sort of choppy parts just to make sort of housey loop. And then the bass is also coming from the MPC, but coming out separate output. Just a standard M1 organ bass, just to get like a rhythm. Normally what I do to start off an idea for a track. But yeah, this modular track, let's go in and record a new one. So let's start from here. Let's put them all into record. So this is going to be a clean pass. And what I'm going to do is just create a version of this using the Arbhar. So here we go. Ready? Let's put it in record. Let's go. Leave those there and change the melody. Cool. So you can see, yeah, you can just sort of, it keeps the rhythm. It keeps like the same kind of pattern that's going on. But just moving through that scan, I can go to different parts and like take a random selection from the first third, a random selection from the second third, and then sort of all the way through because it's kind of smooth. As you can see, I've done it loads in this session. I've had like loads of them. Here we go. These are all the different passes that I've done so far. Let's just crop up the new one. Again, the reason I didn't leave the count on, and I don't really care where it lies in the timeline when I'm recording it, is because in Pro Tools I can just tab to transient. So I've selected all the files that I want to go for, press tab, and it will go to the first transient within those files. If I just press A, trims it, and then I can select all of those clips and just move them up to the closest grid line, and do exactly the same with the end here. So look, get rid of that. And now I know that this is going to be a seamless loop. So let's drag them all up, get them to an actual grid line that looks on time. There we go. So you can see here, this is spanning over, like not dead in 4, but it's fine. So yeah, let's have a listen. First of all, let's just turn this bit up a bit. It's probably a bit quiet. Same with that. Here we go. Now, even though there's no processing going on here, you can see that as I was recording it in here, MPC 1.2 is the drums, and here I've got no processing. MPC 3.4, again, there's no processing on the way in with the UA Apollo, and no processing on the tracks. However, it is going out to my busing structure. So I've got a drum bus, bit of processing, instrument 2 bus, bit of processing, and then a bass bus. So yeah, let's have a listen. Here we go. Oh, yeah, of course. Take them out of record. What are you doing? Here we go. Sweet, let's have a listen. Cool. Sounded pretty good, actually. So what I'm going to do now is just colour up these little last sections so I can just see them from a mile off in the session, where I know it kind of changes towards the end of the phrase. I can just simply there you go, let's just do it quickly. So I don't want tracks, I just want clips in tracks. We're going to make this orange. Same for that M1 there, clips in tracks, orange. And again, this one. There we go. So now I know from like a mile off what bits of this are sort of like secondary parts if I want to make new arrangements. So yeah, that's it pretty much. Arbhar's pretty good. I'll probably do some more videos on it. I say I probably will. I probably won't. But yeah, so I'm using the new Instruo Arbhar V2 software, firmware, should I say, with the stereo version. So you can actually record proper stereo into it. And when I tell you, yeah, it sounds legit, I'm going to be using it all the time. I'm not just going to be using this Arbhar for generative ambient etherealness. I'm going to be using it for garage chops. I'm going to be using it to chop through drum breaks. Sounds epic. So yeah, I'll play you through. See you later.